So this is action potential in a neuron. So you start off with a multipolar neuron because it has multiple dendrites and multiple ends. Neurotransmitters are released by a presynaptic neuron. The neurotransmitters then bind to the dendrite receptors, which is right here, which cause ligand-gated channels to open by binding to the dendrites, which then allows sodium in to depolarize the membrane. Potassium channels open, and they open very slowly. Potassium leaves the cell, just right here, which hyperpolarizes the membrane to the threshold, which is negative 55 millivolts. Sodium-potassium pumps exist to try and maintain resting membrane potential of negative 70 millivolts. The graded response are the changes in the membrane potential that vary in size, and an all-for-nothing response. When the threshold of negative 55 millivolts is reached, voltage-gated channels open in the axon hillock, which is right here, which causes sodium to come into the cell and potassium to leave the cell. Action potential will then propagate down the axon little at a time by depolarizing and repolarizing till it gets to the terminal ends. The action potential will start in a small section and then jump over to another, then to another, and it will keep going until it reaches the end bulbs, causing voltage-gated channels to open. Calcium then enters the synaptic end bulbs, and vesicles will fuse with the plasma membrane, releasing a neurotransmitter into another axon. Action potential is at rest until the threshold level is reached by sodium channels opening, causing depolarization to happen, and it will go up to positive 30 millivolts. Potassium ions move in phase 2, repolarizing the membrane. When potassium levels increase, it causes hyperpolarization, which goes through threshold resting membrane potential all the way down to negative 80 millivolts. Then the activation gates close, stopping the flow of potassium, which then gets brought back up to the resting membrane potential, and that's when it stops.